And welcome to the 208. I'm Joe Paris. Brian Holmes is enjoying some time off. It is World Teacher Day, so be sure to get that homework done tonight, kids, because you got to do your homework on World Teachers Day, right? Well, education and teaching has been a major topic across Idaho for decades. A battle and conversation over education investment and teacher pay, benefits, all of it. Of course, COVID really put a spotlight on the difficulties that schools and districts are seeing right now. The message in recent years, though, has remained the same. Idaho educators and support staff have told us they feel conflicted working in Idaho. The pay for school staff is simply not as good in many parts of Idaho as it is in neighboring states. And it can be hard to make ends meet working in Idaho, according to teachers we've spoken with over the years. So even if a teacher loves the work in their community, they may not be able to stay for practical, personal, financial reasons. So Governor Brad Little and the Idaho legislature, well, they made it a goal to ramp up education funding. The West Ada School District also made a commitment this past summer. In July, the West Ada School District approved a pay and compensation increase for all of their staff. And the change included a base pay rate of $15 minimum for all current full-time classified employees. So is that helping, or is Idaho's largest school district still seeing issues with teacher pay and staffing? The average base salary for a public school teacher in Idaho sits at about $53,100. Those are the latest numbers from the 2021-22 school year, according to data from the Idaho State Department of Education. Since the 2016-17 school year, Idaho teachers have seen the average base salary increase by about $7,000. With increased attention on education funding and teacher pay, the Idaho legislature passed a $410 million measure during the special legislative session in September. That money is aimed at increasing investments into education and educators. And the hope is that better pay and benefits will keep Idaho teachers in the gem state. At a more localized level, the West Ada School District increased their base pay rate to $15 per hour for all current full-time classified employees. The changes went into effect for the current 2022-23 school year. So teachers and staff are being paid more in the West Ada School District now. Additionally, West Ada employees that are eligible to move up the district salary schedule, they'll receive increases from 7 to 20% for the next year. So, is increasing wages helping the situation? Are administrators hearing the same issues as before, or was simply upping the pay and benefits the answer to years of the same question? How does Idaho keep their teachers? We spoke with the superintendent of Idaho's largest school district, Dr. Derek Bubb.
It does feel different, and I think teacher pay is a big part of that. I think being able to, as much as we go through salaries and the cost of living here in Idaho, we know that has gone up. It's really important to be able to pay some of the most important people in our schools an appropriate salary. We've also invested in our classified staff. That was a big goal of ours this year. We recognize that classified staff salaries, classified staff in general, are the people that make the magic happen within our schools. They're a huge support for no matter what that is, from custodial to paraprofessionals. They're such a support for our teachers. They're such a support for our administration. We felt like it was really important for us to do that. And so offering our classified staff a competitive salary was an important piece, but also being able to say, hey, you know what, how are we going to help out our teachers? How are we going to offer them a competitive salary? How are we going to lower benefits? Our teachers last year were paying, for a family of four, we're paying over $1,000 for health insurance. We've gotten that down, almost cut that by 50% this year. So it's an exciting time to be in education.
I know we've heard from teachers around the state that say, look, bottom line, this is about payment. We just want to get a little bit more money so we can continue living here and working in these great schools. And so the legislature, they passed the funding. You guys also do your own work here. There was the critics, though, that said, we'll see if this is really about the money. Now that we're into the school year, everyone got some raises, things are looking good here. Do you think it was about the money? Like, did that fix the problems?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it fixes everything. I think, the last 2 years, obviously were rough on education. It was rough for a teacher. Teachers didn't get into education to deal with all of these outside factors. Teachers got into education when they're in their classroom, they have their kids there, and they're making a difference in the lives of kids. They're in their sweet spot. That's what they love to do. There's a lot of noise out there around outside of that for the last 2 years. And I think right now, as we walk on campuses, as I talk to teachers, it's a different feeling. People feel positive. People feel like, hey, I can get back to, and I hate the word, but I can get back to normal, if you will. And it's about teaching kids and making the difference in the lives of kids and really our community.
How big of a difference do you see from the top down in terms of morale, and how big of a deal, is that changing?
Yeah, I think it's a big deal. I do. I think that we're seeing a total difference. I think that last year, as I reflect on last year, I think teachers came in and just time-wise, if we remember, that last strain came in right before the school year started, and that kind of stirred things up a little bit, and we didn't know where we were at, and I'll take some of that on me. Brand new superintendent. Now we're dealing with this. How do we navigate these waters with a new captain? What does that look like? And so being able to put that behind us and say, okay, we encouraged a lot of our teachers to take summer off and just don't think about what our jobs every single day. That was really important for our teachers to be able to do that and concentrate on themselves a little bit. And now they're back, they're motivated, they're excited, and it's good to see the kids back on campus.
And I asked Dr. Bubb for his thoughts on recent investments in Idaho education, specifically for the $410 million from the Idaho legislature back in September. Dr. Bubb told me, in his opinion, he thinks it's a good sign, and it sends a strong message to Idaho schools and staff that education is valued in our state.